So if you haven't heard, you probably read the title of this video and now do know, Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed. Earlier today, CD Projekt Red announced this on Twitter, saying, "We have important news regarding Cyberpunk 2077's release date we'd like to share with you today. Cyberpunk 2077 won't make the April release window, and we're moving the launch date to September 17th, 2020. Which, for those of you trying to do the math, that is roughly a 5-month delay of the game. We're currently at a stage where the game is complete and playable, but there's still work to be done. Night City is massive, full of stories, content, and places to visit, but due to the sheer scale and complexity of it all, we need more time to finish playtesting, fixing, and polishing. We want Cyberpunk 2077 to be our crowning achievement for this generation, and postponing launch will give us the precious months we need to make the game perfect. Expect more regular updates on progress as we get closer to the new release date. We're really looking forward to seeing you in Night City. Thank you for your ongoing support." And at least as of right now, that's really all we know about this. But for me, and I think even for some others, this isn't that shocking. In the middle of 2019, we got a ton around this game. The reveal that Keanu Reeves would be in it, and as a fairly main character, with later news revealing he actually is taking on even a larger role. There's a ton of speculation, hype, and potentially even some leaks, most of which didn't pan out. And then of course a few months later, we did see the new gameplay drop, which many really enjoyed. And yet there's a few things going on after that towards the end of 2019. We saw the progression of the ARG, and even CD Projekt Red sent out packages to several YouTubers, me fortunately being one of them. Overall, towards the end of 2019 and even early 2020, it's been almost absolute silence. January 10th has been regarded as a fairly important date for Cyberpunk. It's when the first teaser dropped and even when the famous beep tweet was sent out, so a lot of people were expecting, with this being the last January 10th, and it now being only a few months until the game releases, that we'd get something even potentially more significant. And although we got some very heartwarming and wholesome tweets, it wasn't any new trailers, any new leads on the ARG. And that overall silence with the marketing around this game definitely was a red flag. But now, lo and behold, we do know it has been delayed, and I would say overall this is a good thing. Delays with major releases, and especially highly anticipated ones like this, are always bittersweet. You want to play the game. We have this selfish desire to experience it as quickly as possible. But of course, you also want it to be good, and this is only going to ensure that, especially considering it doesn't seem like this is a content delay. They're not trying to delay it to add in a ton of new features, but rather polish or perfect what is there already. Some of you guys might remember that The Witcher 3 was also delayed, which without a doubt has been CD Projekt's best game to date. Originally set to come out at the end of 2014, it initially was delayed to February 2015, then delayed yet again to May of 2015. The second delay in particular really citing trying to get some of the bugginess of the game removed. In the end, I think looking back, we could agree that The Witcher 3 delay really paid off. For a lot of people, that was one of their best games of the past decade, and almost universally the best game of 2015 by the time it released. So as such, even though this delay is somewhat disappointing, and it is fairly long at 5 months, it also does get me excited because we saw how The Witcher 3 benefited from this in the past, how that really did end up delivering, especially on release, which very few games are managing to do these days. So all around, even though again this is immediately somewhat disappointing, I think it does get me hopeful for the future of this game. It should be a better product when we eventually get it. And they also mentioned towards the end of that post that we should be able to expect more regular updates on progress as we get closer. So I wouldn't be shocked if another gameplay or teaser/trailer is released over the next few months. Probably something on the original release date for the game, and even some cool stuff at E3. Maybe they'll even have playable demos at this year's E3, which I would be very excited for. One of the other things that made me think a delay could be incoming was that there was really no discussion or talk about an influencer event for this game. Not all game companies do that, but with a game this large, it is pretty normal. And with the release date getting closer and closer, I was kind of surprised that nobody had heard anything. Those are typically planned pretty far in advance. If you are looking for more Cyberpunk 2077, the ARG is probably something to keep an eye on. I wouldn't be shocked if some additional updates come in the next month or so, and I will have some links down below to game detectives where you could read up on what's happened thus far, and also keep up to date as new things do occur. But honestly, reading all of this, I feel like the real people that lose out are students, specifically college students. This game was originally going to come out right when classes ended for most colleges, and then was delayed until right around the first month of classes for most colleges, so that is a bit of a bummer. But either way, those are my thoughts on that. I would love to hear from you guys down below. With all that being said, I hope to see you all next time. Later.
Open up, it's safe now.
Devils, who do they bring? What seek ye?
I need your help.
Ooh, a man